You guys, Bushcraft Jerry here. And if you're only going to watch one Bushcraft Jerry video, watch this one. This isn't going to be a gear review video. This isn't going to be a video where I show you how to do a new skill. But this is probably going to be the most important video I ever do, especially if you're a Christian. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is Christians and prepping. And before we even start the video, I want you guys to hit pause right now, find a pen and a piece of paper, and on that piece of paper, I want you to write, the person who loves you the most is the one who tells you the most truth, and have that paper sitting in front of you. And whenever I say something you disagree with or you don't like, look at that piece of paper. I'm not doing this for views. I'm not doing this for likes or comments or anything like that. I feel like this is something I have to get out, and I'm going to say it no matter what. And I don't have the biggest following on YouTube. I have a very small following, but I'm still going to use that following I have to get this message out. And I want to talk to specifically Christians today. And if you're not a Christian, this video might still be good for you anyway. But I want to talk to you about Christians and prepping today. And should Christians be prepping? And the answer is absolutely yes. Why? Because you own a book, the Bible, that you swear on your life that book is 100% true and is the Word of God, and there is no lie written in that book. And a good portion, a good percentage of that book is telling you that hard times are coming. From the prophets to the sermons of Jesus to the epistles, the letters written by the apostles to Revelation. Every section of the Bible is telling you that hard times are coming, and you think you don't need to get ready. Well, Bushcraft Jerry, I'll have you know that my God will protect me, that my God will take care of me. Okay. Go read Matthew 24. And when you're done, read Matthew 24 again. And when you're done, read Matthew 24 again and again and again. And don't stop reading Matthew 24 until you realize that God is warning you that things are going to get difficult. I was into wilderness survival. I love the outdoors. I love being in the woods. I love history, and I love learning about how the Aboriginal people that lived here lived off the land, and they didn't need like iron mines and the industrial age to live in North America. And like, this isn't Africa where it's like where you can freeze to death here, and they didn't have wood stoves. And that fascinates me. And I was always into wilderness survival. And like, if you get lost in the woods, what to do? How can I survive? And can I survive with just 5 items and all this stuff? And that's all it was. Like, it was the basic 72-hour like wilderness survival situation. I'm lost in the woods. I need to not die before search and rescue finds me. How do I do it? Then one day, I started just, man, I got to get a bug out bag. And this bag wasn't something I could take on a hunting trip or on a fishing trip. This bag was like, hey, I need to run. Grab the bag and go. And I was putting stuff in the bag. I was buying knives. I was buying camping gear. I was buying cook sets. I was looking around. I was opening my gun safe. I'm like, which rifle am I going to take with me? Because in Canada, you can't take handguns with you. But in that situation, that wouldn't matter. But I was looking at my rifles because I still live under the law of the land right now. So I was like, which rifle am I going to take with me? Do I take a 12 gauge? Do I take a 22? What do I take? And while I was doing this, I was confused because I was trying to figure out, why am I doing this? Why am I putting together a bag so I can run away from home and like never come back and live in the woods. That's living in the woods. This is going to be another video, but let's stay on topic here. Then one night, a verse popped into my head, and I wasn't reading the Bible when this verse came to me. This verse is in Hebrews 11. It's in the early part of that chapter. I don't know exactly which verse, but it's in Hebrews 11. If you start reading Hebrews 11, it won't take you long to find it. And it says, by faith Noah, being warned of things to come, built an ark for the saving of his household. When that verse came to my mind, I knew why I was building a bug out bag. And since I have gone beyond building a bug out bag, I am stockpiling food is just as important. Stockpiling non-perishable food and stuff like that is more important than a bug out bag. We'll get to that in another video. But that's not, a bug out bag is not good enough. I'll just leave it there for now. Anyway, back on track. Back to Noah. I want you guys to go back to go there. Go back to Noah's time and imagine you're Noah. And imagine God told you that he will destroy the world with the flood. You don't know what that means because you live in 2019. Rain falls from the sky multiple times a year. But in Noah's time, it had never happened before. Now imagine this. God is telling you specifically that something that has never happened before is going to happen, and it's going to happen, and so much of it is going to happen that the entire world will be destroyed with the flood. What would you do? Would you sit back and say, well, God, when that happens, you're going to take care of me? Imagine if Noah did that. Imagine Noah would have used the same excuse for not prepping, imagine if Noah was using the same excuse to not build the ark that you're using to not prep, but just by saying, well, when it happens, God will take care of me. God can't take care of you if you're being disobedient. Go back to that piece of paper I told you to write. Guys, take God seriously. Take him at his word. Do not use him as an idiot. I find it very offensive that God has spent a lot of time in the Bible telling people that times are get hard and they do nothing to prepare for those times. Now I get you'll also say, well, we need to make sure our hearts are in the right place, that we have a solid relationship with Jesus and all this and that. And not all this and that. I didn't mean it like that. That is very important. That is more important than the actual prepping. I do not want to underplay that part. But at the same time, what good is that if you're going to starve to death? Like, again, Noah didn't use that excuse. He didn't say, well, God, you talk to me. I just got to make sure that my connection with you is good and I don't need to build an ark. Guys, I've heard all the excuses before. And if Noah had made the same excuses that you're making, Noah and his family would have died. What would have happened if Noah and his family would have died? It'd be a pretty empty world right now. I had one more thought. I can't think of it right now. I'm going to take that to mean I've said what I needed to say. Guys, if you're a Christian and if you believe the Bible and you're not prepping, I don't know what to tell you. I've said what I needed to say. I've brought forth my message. You guys can do with it what you want. Have a nice day. So right after I hit the end record button on my phone, I just had a thought that I've never thought of before. What is the hard times that the Bible is warning us is coming? The Antichrist, The one world says the one world government, the mark of the beast. And if you don't submit to the one world government, if you don't submit to the Antichrist, if you don't receive the mark of the beast, you won't be able to buy, sell, or trade. And they'll probably come looking for you, but we'll just, to keep this simple, we'll stick to the buy, selling, and trading thing just for now. And just to keep it simple. So day one of the tribulation, you refuse to receive the mark of the beast. And you're standing strong and you're not yielding. Well, eventually your food's going to run out. If you don't have a big stockpile, your food's going to run out. Your fridge is going to get empty. Your freezer is going to empty out. And keep in mind that your fridge and freezer needs hydro to run on, and you have to pay to get hydro. So good luck with that. But anyway, you're out of food now. You have no more food left. Are you still going to be strong? Are you still going to stand against the Antichrist? Are you still going to refuse to receive the mark of the beast? Good. Good. Fast forward 2 weeks. You have now spent 2 weeks without food. Your children have now spent 2 weeks without food. You know how annoying it gets when you're driving home from the city and your kids are crying for McDonald's and they can't wait to get home to eat at home? Times that by 2 weeks. And they're actually starving. It's not just that they want McDonald's, they're actually starving now. And if they don't get food soon, they will be dead. Think about that. How long can you hold out when your children are... How long can you hold out when you don't have food, when your children don't have food, when your children are literally starving to death? Are you still going to trust God? I'm not asking if you're a superhero. I'm not asking if you're the best Christian in the world. I'm asking you to be real right now. Will you still hold out when your children are literally starving to death? Guys, the day you can push off the day you run out of food. And if you can push off the day you run out of food, you can push off your children starving to death. And if your children aren't starving, then you don't need to buy, sell, and trade food if you have like 5 years worth of food in the basement. And I'm not saying you need 5 years worth of food. I'm just making a point that I truly believe, and I did not think of this until now, I did not think of this, that if you do not stockpile food and if you're not ready to have an abundance of food, you are actually opening a door that the devil will be able to get you. You are. I have never thought of this now until like 5 minutes ago. And it's true. So please, be smart, people. Be wise. I don't gain anything from you having a lot of food stored up, a lot of water stored up, a lot of essentials stored up. You gain from that. I think that's all I have to say. Take care, people.